Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel.
Rahman Rahim. First of all, Jazakallah khair for everybody being here. Today will not be just a talk. Today will be a lesson that we will never forget. Today will be a lesson that every single one of us will happen to us. Some could be tomorrow, some could be sometime later, but it will happen. Today's talk and lesson is about the one certainty, the one guarantee, and the one promise, and that is death, and what happens when we pass away. So my brothers and sisters, please visualize that this will be your last day on this earth, and this will be the process that every single one of us will go through. Big or small, rich or poor, strong or weak, healthy or unhealthy. This will be our last phase on the earth. Can I have my helpers, please? Inshallah, we're going to demonstrate the shrouding process, inshallah. And as you can see, many of us came here today. We opened our wardrobes and we're choosing what clothes we were going to wear, how we were going to match our outfits, and what design or whatever label we were going to choose to come to this event. But one certainty is, on your last day on earth, you will not choose your last clothing. It will look like this. Everything you accumulated on this earth, your whole wardrobe, will be packed in a little box like this. This is all that will go with you into the earth, your shroud. And I think they're a bit generous here in South Africa. We've got a bit more extra pieces. But this is what it is. We're going to lay it on the table, and we are going to, inshallah, show you the process. It's a very generous shroud. The shroud contains main pieces, white in color and very basic and very cheap. They're not going to bury you with designer labels. As you can see, this is the shirt, and all of us put our shirts on ourselves, but here, the headpiece has to be cut so your head can fit through it, and they are the straps. All right, hold those. First of all, Jazakallah khair for the doctor for volunteering to be the man that's being washed. Lay on the table. Now, brothers and sisters, I'll tell you one thing. The washing table, the shrouding table, and the shroud does not care who you are, what your status is, what your title is. Whether you're a doctor, whether you have a VIP band, it doesn't matter. All it cares about, purpose. Wash, shroud, and move on. Next, as they say. The deceased is brought in. He's brought in usually with some sort of clothing on. And as you can see here, our brother still has his clothing on. They will remain on, because this is only for demonstration. But we will take the shoes off. And we'll take things like Sonny's off, and he won't need his hat in the grave. SubhanAllah, my brothers and sisters, one of the most confronting sights, realistic sights, is to see a loved one stretched on a table, lifeless. Someone who you spent a lot of time with, someone who you ate with, you loved, you shared experiences with, on a table, lifeless, is one of the confronting things you'll ever go through in life. So prepare for it, because it's going to happen. Whether it's you, one of your loved ones, you will be one day, and you will remember this. You'll say, this guy came and told us about this process. Have to deal with this situation. Now, my brother and sister, subhanAllah, once the body is washed, and the washing process, we're not going to really go through it, but the washing process is a dignified process to purify the body. And when the washing process happens, it's usually done with very minimal people in the room. Just like if you were going to have a shower, you would not want anyone in there. Only the closest people would be in there to assist. And sometimes, I'm sorry to say, there's nobody in the room because there's nobody. We have a lot of of unknowns in this world. We have a lot of people that go through this world, die alone, and live alone. But we make sure that at the time of death, their rights are given to the T, just like the person that had hundreds or thousands of people at his funeral. Are you right, Chef? Started coughing, don't be worried. You know, subhanAllah, brothers and sisters, after washing thousands of bodies, people ask me one question. Don't you get used to it? Aren't you desensitized? And my answer to that is no. How could I get desensitized and used to a soul created by Allah, a person that had a purpose, a man that had a family, a person that, subhanAllah, walked the streets I walked among, lived upon, walked the shopping centers, people that you know, people that, subhanAllah, you grew up admiring, respecting, praying next to. How could you get used to that? And that's why I always say, you can never get used to it. Because if this is not attached with what you do in life in general, then it's time for a change. This is the most realistic thing that will ever happen to us. And it will happen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send us people to wash us. Because we can see around the world what's happening. These days, to have a wash and a shroud and a prayer is a privilege. It's a privilege. People aren't getting that these days. So my brothers and sisters, once the body is washed and cleansed, the next process, and pretty much the final process before the prayer, is the shroud. This is the part, I call it the equalizer. This is the part where the family's hearts drop. Because I'll show you why. When the body's on the table, and it's amazing that, subhanAllah, when you're seeing the legs pointing down, because you heard the ayat, that the soul will move up to the collarbone, and the person dying will know what's happening, but the people around him will be calling for help. But he knows he's departing, and everybody is sad. Opposite to the day you're born. The day you're born, everybody's happy, but you come out crying. And the day you pass away, you're happy if you were a true believer, because you know where you're going, but everyone in the room is sad. Look at the opposites. You're born, an adhan is made for you. You die, a janazah is made for you without a prayer, to indicate to you how short this life is, between the adhan and the prayer, subhanAllah. Brothers and sisters, with the body, there's different choices. You can either have the hands together, or we can have the hands in that position like this, and the way the body can be moved. If the body can be moved, and this is another thing, please remember it, if you're ever in the room when somebody is passing away, and it's a blessing to be in there, and seeing the soul leave a body, because it's something you will never ever forget, especially when it's someone you love. You will see how the eyes, once the soul leaves, change. How you see the life out of the eyes go. You'll see the skin change, and you'll see the body sometimes change. And as the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us and taught us, to close the eyes, because the eyes will follow the soul as it leaves the body, and to loosen the jaw and to close it, and if you have to tie it, tie it. These are dignities in our religion. So please remember these at the time of death. Don't sit there scared. You've got to have strong iman, because this is something that we're all going to be put into one day, a process which we must sometimes be ready for. SubhanAllah. Where's my helpers? All right, my brothers, SubhanAllah. When the shrouding starts, the shirt will go over the body like this. And can you, my volunteers, boys, come. Can you pass me the first one, please? Okay. Just pass it to me, thank you. Jazakallah khair. And at this stage here, the face is not covered. And the next piece is put over, just like this. And when we shroud very, very tightly. In this case, we have a live person, and we won't do that. Sometimes it can work opposite. We almost got him suffocated. And then the last piece goes over. All right, boys. SubhanAllah, my brothers and sisters, this is that when you see it, you'll never forget it. Because you saw this person once dressed up, now they're in a plain white shroud. And so many times, I've seen family members, when you have two in a row, they'll come back and stand next to the wrong body. Because I'll show you why. Because subhanAllah, when the body gets tied up, and these are the straps that are used, lift the legs please, up. doctor. Doesn't happen when they're dead. The shoulders are tied. The knees are tied. And in this case, they've given me one short strap. So we're just going to tie the legs. And this is the part where people start to get confused. Where's their loved one? And this is the part that the heart drops. When the body is ready to be taken up for prayer, as long as the family can see the face, there's still some sort of contentment. There's still some sort of ease at the heart. And if anyone here's been in this position at a funeral, they'll tell you the same thing. But my brothers and sisters, when this happens like this, and this happens this, and that gets tied, then we don't know who it is anymore. The status is gone. You don't know who it is anymore. And I'm going to uncover him because we don't want a real deceased. Lift your head. All right. SubhanAllah, my brothers and sisters, Allah, I know that this is a demonstration. But in reality, it's a demonstration right now. But with death, it can come at us at any time. And it's promised, it's certain. Today you could be watching this. Tomorrow you could be really attending a real one of these. And just remember one thing, that when you're in this position, there's no pockets. There's no pockets on the shroud. There's no designer label. There's no nothing. It's a plain white cloth to indicate the people watching, like us, that you will go with nothing but your deeds and actions. Because when we carry this deceased in the coffin to the burial in the grave, and we put him on the right side of his shoulder, and mashallah, the doctor here, the surgeon, he did an 18-kilometer run this morning. He did a 127-kilometer bike ride yesterday. Will mean nothing. Will mean nothing. Because yesterday was yesterday. But today is today. Today is the reality. Today you will only go with your actions and deeds, good or bad. Because as the Prophet, peace be upon him, told us and taught us, 3 things will accompany every single deceased: his family, his wealth, and his actions. 2 will return. And we know that, he's come to the Ferraris, the wealth comes to the cemetery. We see the family come to the cemetery. We will see those cars leave and probably get parked in different garages the next day. And the family, I'll tell you one thing right now. As much as they love you, as much as they scream and yell at the grave, I've had to hold people back from jumping in the grave. But they're not going to jump in. They're not going to jump in. As much as they scream and yell and miss you, I'll tell you something. When the sun starts to go down, they will be the last footsteps that leave the cemetery. And you will hear them as the promise of the Prophet told us. Hear every single footstep leave, getting to us that we are now truly alone in that grave. No father, no mother, no wife, no child, no kawi, no gangster, no nothing. Just you and your actions. Now ask yourself, if you were to meet the angel of death today, are those actions worthy to light up your grave? Are those actions ready to open up a window of paradise? Every single time I leave a funeral, I ask myself, and I'm usually the last one to leave, did he pass the questions of the grave? Because the Prophet told us, once you bury deceased, make dua for them, for tathbit, for steadfastness, for they are being asked the questions. We need steadfastness in the world because we're alive, but we also need steadfastness in the grave. Are we going to have that? Are we going to answer from our heart? Because this is not going to answer. This is not going to answer. Because I'll get you now non-believers that can answer the questions of the grave. But will we answer it? Will our hearts answer the way we lived the answers to Munkar and Nakir? Because wallah, my brothers and sisters, it's horrific to think about, and it's reality. Go to the cemetery. Go to the cemetery and read the names and look at the ages of those headstones. Some didn't make it to 1 year old, and some made it to 100 years old. And what does that tell you? It tells you one thing, that we're all going to die. And if you were to ask those deceased, how long have you been in here? They'll say a day or part of a day. And if you ask them, what would you want now if you could come back? I promise you they will not tell you, I want to finish my diploma. I want to finish building that house. I want to invest in more stocks. Good. I want to worship Allah again. I want to pray 2 rak'at. I want to give sadaqah. That's what they'll say. So why aren't we doing it now? Why aren't we doing it now when we're alive? We procrastinate because we think that we have so much more time. Subhanallah, al-hakum al-takathur. We all compete in this world until we visit the cemetery. There's no competition at the cemetery. I've never seen an ATM machine in the cemetery. There's no economics in the cemetery. The cemetery is one place that reality is. It's the most realistic place you can go. Why? Because they're the living, we're the dead. Because that's where we're all going. You know, when you visit the ones in the cemetery, I say to myself, I come back and I find them friends because they remind me of Allah. I give the heart to them and they remind me of where I'm going. They remind me that, Ya Ahmed, this life is temporary. Stop chasing it and it's written for you. Yes, work hard. Yes, persevere, get up. But don't make it the all of it. You know, my brothers and sisters, the biggest thing I find in our community is the regrets. The regrets that we have when we're alive. When we lose a loved one and we say, man, he should have done more. Because we know their lives. You know, when the body is in this position and the family get to spend 40 minutes, you know, time, it's all about time. You've got to appoint the time to be at the grave. And the family stand around the deceased like this. Or the friends come and this is what they do. They walk past like this. Some will walk close, some will walk far. This, and they'll look at you and keep walking. I'm going to tell you one thing. Not one of them will say, I wish I was in his place. Not one of them. They're saying, thank God it's him and not me, because I have another chance now. That's the smart one. Others will go, he was unlucky. No such thing. No such thing as luck in our life. There's no such thing as in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was in the right place at the right time because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that for you. So my brothers and sisters, be very, very careful of what your last actions are. And ask yourself, if I was to meet my Creator today, are those actions worthy to be presented to my Lord? May Allah bless you and reward you. We're out of time. I'm going to let the doctor loose. Not many people get let loose like this. But he's coming back. And inshallah, I wanted to ask you one question. When I closed that cover on you, honestly, when I closed it for that 1 minute, it wasn't even a minute. What was your feeling like?
It actually brought the reality of death and being in the coffin to life. Immediately I started praying my kalima, and I started praying رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. And I sincerely made the dua that inshallah when I am in this position that I will be ready.
Did you think about work tomorrow?
Nothing.
Did you think about your bank account?
Not at all.
What you're going to eat later? But you thought about your family.
I was just hoping you would lift this.
Wallah, you know, he speaks words that I hear from nearly every single person. Just give me more chance. Because we're promised that's what we will say. Irja'uni, bring me back so I can do salih. Right now we have the opportunity to do salih. So my brothers and sisters, remember, this is not for fun. 2 billion Muslims in 100 years will be exchanged for Allah alam how many more Muslims. But we will not be here. Because in the barzakh life there's about 110 billion souls. Some are in the good place and some are in the bad place. And we will be amongst them one day. So prepare for that day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel.